Good afternoon, Joyful Geniuses. Welcome to this week's Joyful Genius Live. I'm Andrew Horder, founder of Joyful Genius Coaching, and I've been spending the last decade or so helping solo practitioner, coaches, consultants, therapists, healers, those sort of people, to find the way to make a decent living doing work that you absolutely love doing. And that's what we want to talk about today, really. Over the last few weeks, I've been talking about the various aspects of your core process, your core purpose, the thing that you do when you're at your best and the reason why you do it. Now I want to start to talk about your core practice. That is the thing, the actual day-to-day stuff that you do each day that makes a difference to people and is special to you. And the big thing about it being special to you is you probably don't realise what it is, because it's part of you, it's natural to you, so you just do it, and it's how you create your magic. But if you don't realise that's how you create your magic, it's going to be difficult for you to do that consciously. What we're really talking about here is the work that puts you in what is termed flow. The top writer on that, the guy who coined the term, Mihai Csikszentmihalyi, and yes, it did take me a very long time to remember how to pronounce that. Flow, very well worth a read. It is a bit of a tome. It's real small print stuff. It's a fairly academic book, but it really does get into what flow is all about. What it's like when your work is just a complete ease for you. It just comes completely naturally. He talks about when you're in a state of flow in your work, time stands still and you don't realise as time goes by. You kind of forget to eat and you have to be reminded to get up and use the loo and things like that, because you're so totally absorbed in the work, because it's something that you love to do and it interests you and it matters to you. And the big thing about flow is it's not about it being easy. It's about it being something that you can do with ease. There is a massive difference. True flow is only achieved when there is not only a match between the challenge of the task and your ability to complete it, your skills, but actually when there is enough challenge in it. The more advanced model of flow looks at where you've got low challenge and relatively low capabilities, so they're matched, but it's not real flow. That can tend towards apathy. Real flow is where you're being challenged and you've got just enough skills to do it. And that means that you're creating something really quite special, and you're on the edge and you're constantly aware of what you're doing. So although you lose yourself in your work, you are aware of what you're doing. And that's a very important element of your core practice, that you are consciously aware of it. Your core practice is, like I said, it's the stuff you do on a day-to-day basis that you don't really even realise that you're doing. For me, when I did mine, I did my core process, and that came out as, I think I've told you, if you haven't watched these before, this will be new to you, encouraging potential, which is basically helping people to step up and own up to their potential and live up to their potential. My core purpose, the reason I do that, is because if we're all doing work that we love and all fulfilling our potential, then the humanity is just going to create so much more. And that puts humanity in a state of resonance, as that's my word for that. But my core practice, the way I do that, is connecting. And that's connecting to people, it's connecting to ideas, it's connecting people to people, and it's getting people connected to their genius as well. So there's a whole lot of things around connecting that I do, but it's all about making sure that the potential's getting fulfilled by making the connections that people can't see for themselves. And a lot of the time that is the connections between what they do that's absolutely special that other people can't do well, and helping them to connect that to themselves their natural genius. Not sure I explained that completely well, but it'll do for now. If you want a conversation a bit deeper about that, we should jump on a chat. What we're talking about here is making the unconscious conscious. There's 4 states to expertise, if you like, or to genius. There's unconscious incompetence. That is basically, there's stuff you don't know, but you don't know it. Yeah. Worse, there is a worse version of that, which is where you think you know it, but you don't know it. It's that whole thing where stupid people are a problem to other people. Stupid people are like dead people. They don't realise they're stupid, or dead people don't realise they're dead because they're not around anymore. But the dangerous one is one where you think you're you think you're good at it, but you're not. I think there is a phrase for that which I can't for the life of me remember. I'll put it in the comments if I remember it. But that's unconscious incompetence. You don't realise that you're rubbish at it. Then there's conscious incompetence, and that's where you know what you need to learn, which is a great place to be. But it's not you and your genius. It's you on your journey towards your genius, if you like. So you know what you don't know, you know what you need to learn, and you're consciously making steps to learn it. The next step is conscious competence. So you've learnt it well enough, but you're still having to think about it. You're having to think, hang on, how do I do that? If I put that one there and do that and ask this question, I'll get that result. Yeah, that's conscious competence. You're able to do it, but you're having to think about it. And then the final one of the 4, of the original 4, and I'll go on to that in a minute, is unconscious competence, which is what we used to say is what you want to achieve. That state where you know it so well, you don't have to think about it, it just happens. And that's a great place to be. And that is where your work can become ease, something that you do with ease. But there's a little challenge with that, because when your work becomes something that you do with ease, it can be something you get a little bit complacent about. The next step on, so there's a 5th step that was added later on, is reflective competence. And that is where you don't have to think about it, but you choose to think about it. Either while you're doing it or after you've done it. And you go back and you look at the work and you look at how you've been doing the work and you ask yourself, was there anything I could have done better? What did I do there that was particularly good? How did I get that result? And is that something that I can improve on in the future and get even better results from it? So that reflective competence, that's where real mastery lies. You can do it without thinking about it, but you choose to think about it, consciously trying to get better. You might recognise that as what poor old Donald Rumsfeld, lots of other reasons why he's not poor old Donald Rumsfeld, but that particular one, he got absolutely slated, didn't he, for his known unknowns and unknown unknowns and all that. He got himself a little bit tied up in knots, but actually he was right. In life, there is stuff we don't know. And there is stuff that we don't know that we know. But we use it, and we use it unconsciously. And while that is massively effective, it can be even more effective when we use it consciously, with volition. I refer to that as being brilliant with volition. You're choosing to be as brilliant as you can possibly be. Not just letting it happen, but consciously creating the space for it to happen and for it to improve. Because if you ever reach the stage where you think you know it all, you don't. Because the world changes, your clients change, your industry, your profession changes. And if you're not consciously, reflectively choosing to get better at what you do really well, eventually you're going to lose your edge. Eventually you're going to not be the best. You're not going to be able to put yourself in the class of geniuses at what you do. need some help with that, I would love to be talking with you. I would love to be helping you to understand your core process, the thing that you do when you're at your best, why you do it, how you do it, your core purpose and your core practice. So if you're getting a bit confused about what it is that you're brilliant at, then there's a video I'd love you to go and watch, and we'll see where we go from there. The video is, the link to the video, I will put it down below, but it's www.joyfulhygenius.com/mojo, M-O-J-O, as in you've lost your mojo, you're not quite sure how to be at your best, and you want some help. I think that'll be me done for this week. I look forward to seeing you again next week, but until then, you keep up the great work.